Hey guys, Matt McKeever here, and so you can't actually really see it too much on camera, but right now my lymph nodes are swollen, like they're crazy. It looked like a chipmunk last night. I'm feeling a little bit better. I guess the technical term is they're inflamed. And so today's video is going to be really quick, but today's video is going to be focused on what day should you close on the purchase of your rental property. And so just a quick reminder, but for those of you that are new to real estate investing, closing day is the day that you actually get keys to the property, the day that you officially become the owner. It's the day that your lawyer, your escrow company exchanges money with the seller in order to get you official possession of the property. And so what day should you actually close? Should you actually become the official owner? Well, I've never actually read anything, I don't think, on the internet or in books really suggesting what day to do it on. This is just my personal experience and an idea I've stumbled upon. I've talked about it with other real estate investors and they kind of agreed they liked this approach, and I'm sure lots of other real estate investors have stumbled upon the same idea. But the day you should close on rental property, in my opinion, is the 2nd to the 4th. And so the main reason I'm gonna say you should close on rental property on the 2nd or the 4th of the month, any month, doesn't really matter which month, is because what that means is, it means the seller, the current landlord, is gonna actually be responsible for collecting the rents for that month. So if I take possession on November 2nd, it means that the old landlord had to collect rents on November 1st and they have to credit me for the difference. So let's say it's $1,000 in rent that it's collected in November. When I go to settle up at the lawyers, what happens is I'm entitled to 29 of those 30 days, and the old landlord's entitled to 1 of those 30 days. So I'm gonna get 29 divided by 30 times 1,000 credited against the amount I have to put down on the property. So this is another way to really just stretch your dollar that extra little bit. And when you're first becoming a real estate investor, or once you start closing on a lot of transactions potentially in the same month, this can actually add up and make a really big difference. But so the biggest reason that I love having the other landlord collect the rents is, it just gives me a month to get up to speed. It gives me a month to let the other tenants know that, hey, I'm now the new owner, you need to make the checks or the e-transfers or whatever made payable to myself. And it just gives me kind of a month to get used to them, get used to the building. So I highly recommend you guys consider closing on your rental properties on the 2nd to the 4th of the month. It's just gonna make the transition period a lot easier for you. It's gonna let you really get established before you have to start chasing tenants potentially for rent. And at the end of the day, it's still gonna reduce the amount you have to pay on the statements of adjustments. So to me, it's just a giant win-win. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention about this. I've actually had sellers and their lawyers try and push me and my lawyer into having to collect the rents ourselves, saying that, oh, well, he only owned it for 1/30th of the month. He only owned it for the 1 day, so he didn't really have to collect it. No, screw that. You collect the rent. You're going to credit me that amount. And I know my lawyer's gotten heated debates with the seller's lawyer because the sellers were trying to just cop out. They knew that their tenants were troubled tenants and they'd have a hard time collecting rent. And they just wanted to pass the buck on to me because they weren't thinking long term and they were just being giant dicks. So make sure you stand up for your rights. Make sure that you force the seller to collect that rent. It doesn't even matter if they actually collect it. They still have to credit you it anyways. They can go after the tenant in the landlord-tenant tribunal or in small claims court or however it works in your jurisdiction. But just make sure you stand up for yourself. Know your rights. Make sure your lawyer stands up for your rights as well. And yeah, close on the 2nd or the 4th. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I'm hopefully gonna be feeling better soon. Hopefully these lymph nodes will stop being so swollen. And I'll see you on the next video. But until then, YouTube wants you to check out the videos down below. I'd love for you to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money out there for us all to make it. But if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys. Bye!